Hey guys, first regards in here, and I'll be talking about all of the brand new heroics coming to Space Marine 2 patch 14. Now, the public test server came out around 5 minutes ago, and we have all of the new heroics available to us. We got stuff like the Combi-flamer, stuff over here, like a Salamander's melta rifle. I'll be going through all of that here today. So, first up, I want to talk about the Combi-flamer. Now, a lot of people did not even know a bolt carbine was coming this patch. This was revealed in the PTS patch notes initially, and it is a pretty self-explanatory weapon. The heroic perk effect here is Combi Weapon. You can use an alternative Pyroblaster firing mode, access through the augmented vision scope mode, just like the Combi Melta and also things like the grenade launcher. Now, the Pyroblaster and the burn damage in general got a nerf this patch to the Auspex interaction. And I can only imagine that's because of this weapon, because if you had a bolt carbine that also had a Pyroblaster attached to it and still stacked extra burn damage on the Auspex, that would be kind of cracked. So I do understand why they decided to nerf that today, but it's still a pretty powerful gun, and the stats here are actually quite strong, and the full magazine capacity, I mean, the bolt carbine has always been a very ammo efficient weapon. You still have a fat 45 magazine round capacity, and even though you do have an augmented vision, the bolt carbine is actually a pretty strong gun in the fact that you don't have to actually aim down the sights of this gun at all because of perks here like home precision. So having a hip fire option with a Pyroblaster attached to it, that is huge. This seems to be a very strong gun. Now, the next one we have here is the Salamander melta rifle. The heroic perk effect here is called Thermal Charge. Shots have increased range and a narrow spread but need to charge before firing. So the big thing about melta rifles in Space Marine 2 and just 40k in general is that Space Marine 2 does not showcase them properly at all. This is an attempt at making them more lore accurate because a melta rifle, these are like the premier armor destroyers in all of 40k. They were supposed to kill Space Marines, supposed to kill Iron Warriors and stuff like that, of course Heretic Astartes, and melta rifles being a shotgun, that was just not the proper implementation, and a lot of players have been asking for something like this. So hopefully this functions similar to the heroic plasma pistol, but as far as options go, I think both of these changes and like both these heroic options are pretty damn cool. Now, the next one here is the Stalker bolt rifle. This one is called the Deathwatch Stalker bolt rifle. We have firepower of 9 here with a 10 accuracy and like no piercing, and also that makes it the lowest base damage of all these Stalker bolt rifles. However, the heroic perk effect here is called Auspex Shot. Landing 5 successful shots in short succession creates a small Auspex scan area. The cooldown is 8 seconds. So this will allow you to get 5 successful shots for an Auspex scan. That seems okay, to be honest. I mean, the nice thing here is that you can put this on like a sniper class and stuff like that, where otherwise you would have no Auspex scan at all. But I'll be real, like the base Auspex scan is not that strong. I'll have to test this to see if it functions with stuff like concentrate fire or precise calibration, but for now my initial thoughts on this one is like it's okay. Like the perk effect here isn't like ridiculous, it's just kind of strong. Now, for the melee weapons, we have a new heroic thunderhammer. This is the Lord Executioner's axe, and you're probably like, what the fuck, is this a block thunderhammer that's an axe instead of like an actual normal hammer? Well, the thing is, this one actually has an entirely unique animation for like a polearm moveset, which is pretty insane, and the heroic perk effect here is called Whirling Strike. Aftershock is replaced with a powerful spinning attack. Hitting 5 or more enemies with a single attack grants 1 adrenaline surge stack. So this is predominantly a horde clear weapon. You have a 14 base strength, 4 speed, and 7 cleaving potential, and defense type block. Does make this one of the stronger options. Like, this one will be pretty damn fun on an assault class especially. I think this is like definitely a more interesting effect than the other Storm's Dominion heroic thunderhammer. I'll definitely be making a bunch of builds around this, but as far as like melee options go, I think this is one of the coolest heroics they've made so far. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below, but a Lord Executioner's axe as a heroic thunderhammer, the fact we're getting entirely different animation movesets on these heroic weapons, that does bode pretty well for like other melee weapons we get in the future. So I hope they follow this kind of trend. Next we have the Deathwatch Heroic Power Fist. Now, this is a 16 strength, 6 speed, 13 cleaving potential, defense type balanced combi fist. And that is a pretty strong stat spread. Now, a lot of you may not like the defense type balance here, but the thing is, On a assault class, having the option for a animation cancel on your parry with the jump pack dash, that does make it much more functional here for a balanced weapon. And because of that, the stat spread here will be very strong for him, and he doesn't have to deal with the downside as much on a Wings of Flame build. Now, the heroic perk effect here is called Burning Impact. Pause after any light attack to enter a stance, then light attack again to fire a Melta Blast and inflicts the burn status. So this weapon will give you a decent option for your light attacks. You do have a 6 speed here, so getting off those light attacks is actually pretty easy. And having a burn status on like any weapon in this game, and that's pretty damn strong. And like once again, they did nerf the Auspex interaction. I can only imagine that's because they're giving burn to more weapons in this patch, and like also probably future patches, because Saber has said they want to move into like the direction of adding in more status effects for these heroic weapons. This is like the first in line of that. Now, the final weapon we have here is, of course, the Salamander's Burning Blade. Now, a Burning Blade is one of the most popular weapons in 40k for a lot of things, like you see the stuff on Gilliman for the Primarchs and stuff like that. This is a fencing power sword with 11 strength, 7+ speed, and 4 cleaving potential. It does put it a little bit below the speed of the normal fencing one, but the cleaving potential here is much better. And the heroic perk effect is called Nocturne's Retort. Perfect parry to empower the blade and deal 1 more damage to the next light attack in speed style. Hold up to 5 empower stacks. The parry window is smaller. So I haven't tried this one out in game. I would be very shocked if the Salamander's Power Sword did not use the empower stacks to apply burn yet, but like I would assume this applies burn. But either way, this is a pretty unique effect. First of all, the perfect parry giving you an empowered blade, that's a pretty cool interaction. Now, I will say that on the Bulwark class, Intimidating Aura might actually trivialize that entire perk effect, because you'll just one-shot them off of your power stance, or excuse me, off your perfect parry. But that being said, having the option to just light enemies on fire would be pretty cool, and being able to hold up to 5 empower stacks is pretty interesting, and having more damage in your next light attack in a speed style. This speed style has been predominantly underused for like single target in this game, and that might actually help it out a bit. I'm definitely gonna take this one to game more often. This seems to be one of the more intricate ones alongside the Lord Executioner's axe, but as far as my overall thoughts are concerned for these new weapons, I think this is the best heroic set we've gotten so far since like patch 10. I think these ones seem like really interesting effects, and just in general, I think the heroics have been a huge boon to the player base in terms of like build variety, because how often do you have 6 new weapons make such a like significant difference in overall build options just with like a few gimmicky effects? But these do seem pretty interesting and pretty well made, and having new animations built into a heroic weapon, I mean, we've never seen that before, so that's a pretty big thing. But you guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. I will be going over all the cosmetics as well for the stuff that came out this patch, but as far as the heroics are concerned, you guys can tell me what you think about these new ones. And as always, thank you for watching. If you like content like this, subscribe for more. If you want to catch me live to watch me, test all of these new builds, you can find me here on YouTube or on Twitch with a link in the video description. Also, a link to my community Discord. I also want to say a special thank you to my channel members, because you guys have been super supportive and you help me make content like this and keep me going, and I really do appreciate that. And as always, thank you for watching. Take it easy. Bye.